Welcome to another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we look at the analyst results from week 8 on wide receivers. You ready?
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom. Rolling on the field.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
All right, before we get started, let me explain what's going to happen in this video. We see all the time that wide receivers get ranked by fantasy experts across the internet, especially YouTube. So we're going to look at those results. So at number 1, the top pick for both Fantasy Pros and the fantasy headliners was Jamar Chase because of the good game he had in week 7. But you know what actually happened? He was 23rd. So we're going to look at these rankings and see how they did. So let's take a look at the top 10. Boom. So fantasy headliners predicted all these players that were going to be ranked. Jamar Chase, number 1. Number 2, Justin Jefferson. Number 3, CeeDee Lamb. Number 4, Emeka Egbuka. Number 5, Rashee Rice. Number 6, Courtland Sutton. Number 7, Rome Odunze. Number 8, Drake London. Number 9, A.J. Brown. And number 10, Chris Olave. Now, I don't care if they didn't play. If you put your bets in Las Vegas, they count. So here, Fantasy Headliners got 1 out of the top 10. It was a tough week, but still, they got 1 out of the top 10 for 10%. Not number 2, Fantasy Pros, they got 1 out of 10 as well. Who'd they hit on? Rashee Rice. So Fantasy Pros predicted Rashee Rice was going to be 6. He came in at 2. All right, now let's pop in for the top 20. Now, they did much better, but it also has the most flexibility as well, because now you are including that any of these top 20 players, the 11 through 20 is 1 through 20. So who'd they get on? They got 5. So they hit on Rome Odunze. They hit on Jalen Waddle. They hit on Michael Pittman. They hit on Ladd McConkey. And they hit on McMillan. So let's just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good for 50%. That was Fantasy Pros. Now let's take a look at Fantasy Headliners. They did 40%. So overall, let's look at this. Who'd they hit on? T. Higgins. They predicted T. Higgins in number 11. He came in 15th. DK Metcalf was predicted at 12. He came in 11th. Michael Pittman was predicted at 13. He came in 4th. And let's go down this list again. McMillan was predicted at 17. He came in at 8. And that rounds out the top 20. So they hit on 40%. Fantasy Pros, they hit on 50%. So who'd they hit on? They hit on Rome Odunze, 12th and 12th. It was a wash. They hit on Jalen Waddle. He was predicted 14. He came in 3rd. Number 15, Michael Pittman. He came in 4th. And at number 19, Ladd McConkey was predicted, he came in at 5th. And also Tatario McMillan. He was predicted at 20. He came in 18th. So let's just take a look. They only got 10% of the top 10. They got 50% of the 11 through 20. Now let's double check here. Fantasy Headliners got 10% of the top 10 right. They got 40% of the 11 through 20. All right, let's pop in here. Now, 21 through 30. Now, if any of these players get predicted all the way through, that's fine. We're counting it. So who'd they hit on? They got 4 of the 21 through 30 fantasy headliners. Who'd they hit on? Well, they hit on Ladd McConkey, predicted at 22, came in 5th. George Pickens, they predicted 23rd. He came in 28. Jalen Waddle was predicted at 26. He came in at 3rd. And 28 was predicted Khalil Shakir. He came in at 6th. And so let's just double check. That's 4. Ladd McConkey, 1. Waddle, 2. Oh, George Pickens. So Ladd McConkey, George Pickens, Waddle, and Shakir. That was fantasy headliners. Overall, they hit on 30%, which is a rough week. At Fantasy Pros, they did 21 through 30. They hit on 40%. So who'd they hit on? They hit on Jordan Addison, was predicted at 22, came in at 25th. At number 24 was T. Higgins. He came in at 15th. At 25, Terry McLaurin came in at 13. And then at 29, Shakir, he came in at 6. Let's pop in on the fantasy headliners. They got 40% through 21 through 30. Remember, all you have to do is in the 21 through 30 come in higher than 30, and it counts. So who'd they hit on? Well, 22, Ladd McConkey, he came in 5th. At number 23, George Pickens was 28. And at 26, Jalen Waddle, he came in 3rd. At 28, Khalil Shakir, he came in at 6. So overall, fantasy headliners did 30% and fantasy pros did 33.3%. So as you can see, getting these right is extremely hard, and keep watching, because what we're going to do is eventually we're going to make it where you guys can vote right here on the Fantasy Goodfellas. So don't forget to set your rankings, look for another video, and as always, good luck on this week's fantasy football.